What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Balance Show. We believe that the key to life is balance.
Finding the balance between discipline and freedom, ambition and contentment. The perfect balance is unique to each individual.
We are your hosts, Taylor, Chloe, and Steve, and we're here to help you find your balance. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to our YouTube podcast, The Balance. Is that it?
Yes.
YouTube podcast. Hey everyone, You ready?
I'm ready.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to our YouTube podcast. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to our YouTube podcast, The Balance Show. In this episode, we talk about our 6-week series, Elevate You.
We are diving into these small daily habits that you can introduce into your routine to bring a big change in your life.
We talk about 6 daily tasks that by the end of the 6-week series, you're going to be feeling incredible and be feeling like your best self. This is also leading up to our very first pop-up shop event in Vegas for balance. So here we go.
Hope you enjoy.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the 6-week series that we have coming up, and it's all about the little daily habits that produce huge change in your life. The series is called Elevate You, and what it is basically is 6 daily habits that you can introduce into your routine that can be huge change agents for growth. So they include some things internally, some things externally, and we'll dive into what those are. But we just wanted to kind of share the meaning behind it with you guys for us and give you guys some insight into why we have the whole balance team participating in this series.
And why we want you to consider potentially joining in on the series as well.
We sat down and kind of did some self-reflecting on our lives, and we just realized how crazy we've all been, so crazy busy with our clothing line, Balance Athletica, for the past, 6 months, maybe even more, that the first thing that we realized that fell to the wayside is our self-care, so personal care, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all of that. We know how to live our best lives and we know how to be our best selves, but we felt like we were putting all of our energy into work, which is amazing, but just taking a few extra steps daily, we realized will help us get back on track with not only work, but making us feel our best selves, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of that.
And it kind of brings that balance back into your life and reminds you, okay, I need to do these little things for me.
Right, and of course, our company is called Balance, and we preach that all the time, so we definitely need to practice what we preach and start practicing in our own lives.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there have always been times in our lives where we feel like we've been on top of the world and taking care of ourselves and at the same time doing what we need to do in our profession, and just we kind of reflected on those times and really thought about what we were doing during those times that brought the best out of us. So we kind of came up with a list of things, and Chloe had already mentioned, I think there's 6 altogether, and those things they're loose, so they're not a strict set of things. It's more so evaluating what you are doing on a daily basis and how you can incorporate these 6 facets into your daily routines to really improve yourself.
And these little things can spark such huge change in your life, and so we know that, and that's kind of why we wanted to narrow it down and bring it to you guys and also to our team. And like Steve said, it's so broad, so you can do really what is best for you, just as long as you're accomplishing that goal. You can do it in the way that works most for you and your lifestyle.
Before we go over these 6 daily habits, I kind of wanted to go over all of our own personal experiences these past 6 months and kind of share with you guys why we want to start this personally, and hopefully something resonates with you guys to help you get bring your best self daily. So for me, I was starting to get really bad anxiety, breaking out, waking up lethargic, just wanting to come home from work and completely shut my brain off and watch TV. But I know that something was falling to the wayside and realized that I had to put forth a little bit more effort and intention into my life outside of work to be able to be even a better version of myself. So that's kind of the reason why I wanted to start this series, was because I know that when I do make nutrient-dense food choices and when I do get sleep and when I am hydrated and I'm living my life really intentionally in every way, I feel so much more energized. My skin clears up. I literally feel like I am my best self in every way. So that's kind of why I wanted to start this. It's not really a challenge. It's more like, I don't know, what would you call it?
It's a series to help develop habits to keep you accountable for your own well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So your well-being that's really why we're doing it. It's not really for the physical side for me. It's more of like well-being as a whole. So I'm excited to start that, and that's kind of why I want to put some bit of challenge in my life and have these daily tasks. I know after a 6-week period, if you do all these things, you're going to have an entirely like new lifestyle change. Whether you believe it or not, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, totally. And like you said, it's kind of all about focusing and prioritizing your wellness versus all the other things in life. So we're all pushed so hard to perform well at work and, look good or look a certain way. And this is really something that's going to have you focus on your well-being. And once you focus on that, then the other things are a side effect because you are the best version of you when you are healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, what really sparked this, same kind of thing, and I think it's going to be probably consistent with all three of us. We all just have so much on our plates building this business and scaling it to the degree that we are. There's so much to do every single day. So same with me. When I got home, I was working. The moment I woke up, I would look at my phone, start working all day, and then when it was time for bed, it was like 10:30. I just had no time for me and was not pushing for that work-life balance that you can always make. If you make it a priority, you can always find the time to make time for yourself. So that a lack of energy always is a good sign that you need to check in with yourself. And yeah, just really, really needing some me time, I think.
Yeah, and I think that when you are able to give some time to yourself, you're more productive in all other aspects of the day. So if you feel like you need to be working all day and you aren't really taking time to take care of yourself, a lot of the time that will hinder your performance. So what you're doing in 8 hours, you could really probably do in about 7 if you just took an hour for yourself and really made sure to take care of your needs.
Yeah.
And I think that all three of us have been in a phase where we would be super strict when doing something like this. So we would be like, okay, I have to hit 30 minutes of cardio every day and I have to train legs for an hour every day, and here are my macros, and I can't have a glass of wine or I can't have ice cream or whatever the case may be. We haven't really gone through this with having balance in our life. So I think that this is going to be a challenge in and of itself to try and find balance without being so restricted and hard on ourselves. Like, this is something that we've never done before, and I think that it's going to be super cool to be able to see how we progress as individuals throughout these next 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. So that being said, I think to give people an idea of really what this looks like, let's go through the 6 things, what they are, and if there's room for elaboration, then we can kind of go into them. But let's just go through these so they can kind of understand where we're coming from and see how they are really customizable for everyone's lifestyle.
Okay, yes.
So the first one on the list is to commit to 1 hour of movement daily. So this can mean anything. This is whatever is right for you, and it's also whatever you're feeling for that day. Your body definitely will speak to you, so you need to do what's best for you. So for me, what this might look like is one day it could be a walk around the lake for an hour. One day it can be lifting at the gym, and one day it could be a dance class. It can be really anything.
You can switch it up too. Like, if you want to do do 30 minutes of HIIT in the morning, like an EMOM workout, and then at lunchtime you want to just listen to a podcast and walk around for 30 minutes, it can be, you can split it up for however you need. And then Steve made up a good point too.
Yeah, if so this is one was really big for me, and I feel like I found my groove in the gym again. Before I was having a really hard time with motivation to train, and I was just going through the motions. I was still there, but I wasn't really invested because I didn't love what I was doing anymore. So during this time, if you find yourself burnt out, mix it up. If you find yourself extra busy at work for an hour and you're moving around all day, you can skip that for the day, unless you feel motivated to go to the gym or go for a run or something like that. Just, it doesn't even need to be a full hour. Just make sure you get out there and you get active for the day. And that can be in any way. I don't want anybody to feel as though they have to complete this checklist and they can't feel complete for the day until they do. Just be really happy with what you're doing for the day, and I think that's the main goal for this.
It's always progress over perfection. So as long as you're hitting as many of the things that you can and that makes sense for you, you should feel like a win in your mind.
Yeah, there's days where people are really busy, and I understand that. We all experience that, but the main thing here is to really try to understand that you don't need to only work all day. You should try to get an activity that you enjoy and do it for, if you can, an hour during the day.
Totally. Just get your body moving, for sure.
So the next thing is to drink a gallon of water, which quite honestly is very hard if you look at it that way, but if you take it in chunks throughout the day, it won't be as hard as you think. And when you start to do this, because I know from training so many clients, they're like, oh my gosh, a gallon of water. And by the time it's like the 5th day in, they're like, okay, this is actually so easy and my body's used to it, and I feel like I can't go a day without a gallon of water.
Yeah.
So, Chloe, when I had you do this, what were some tips?
So for me, something that's very important that I want to note that Taylor taught me was you can't go all day sipping it and then think that if you drink the rest of the gallon at night, that's how it works, because your body needs to absorb it throughout the day.
Well, I get you can do it like that, but it's definitely not as beneficial.
Your body will be
like, get rid of it.
Throwing it up.
So the biggest thing, if you're just starting out trying to drink more water, the biggest thing is to kind of make a plan every day. You can't just expect that you're going to remember. So whether that means having an actual gallon and marking it. So for me, when I first started doing it, I had a 10 o'clock mark. I had a noon. You can split it up however you want, but you just have to hit that goal throughout the day. Or what I do now is I just have a water bottle. I know how much water it holds, and I have to drink 5 of them every day. So whatever works best for you, just have a way to track it and have a way to plan. That's the tips for the beginners out there.
Yeah,
that should help.
A lot of people don't understand that your body is comprised of about, I think it's 60% water, and if you are not drinking enough, that's going to really hinder nutrient delivery and all of that stuff. So you're going to feel not as great when you're not drinking enough water. And I think a lot of people, once they start, it's not going to be one day of drinking a gallon and you're going to feel great. But once you develop that habit of doing it every day, you're going to start to feel really good and notice that you have more energy. You're waking up less groggy. When I 100% notice the difference when I'm not drinking enough water, because in the morning specifically, I feel very tired and lethargic despite having I could even have 8 hours of sleep and still feel really just groggy. And I noticed that the water itself really makes a difference.
Yeah, water is essential for all your organs to function. One of your biggest organs is your skin. So for your skin to look supple and also to be clear, water is essential. So that is going to be a huge thing for this series.
The next one is adhere to a morning routine. And I know that with our lifestyles, it's so easy to wake up and go hit your workout, go straight to work, be so busy for the rest of the day, and you kind of miss such an important time of day, and that is what your morning routine looks like. And I feel like it sets you up for success for the rest of the day. So for me personally, I like to wake up, eat my breakfast, drink my coffee, read my Bible, but I want to extend it a little bit further into journaling and maybe even waking up 10 or 15 minutes earlier to get just a little bit extra added benefit before I start my day.
And it's essential. I think when I think of morning routines, you really have to think about this being the time for you to set up your day, and it really has to be very personal. So, you have to figure out what works best for you. Like Taylor said, she's branching out into journaling and things like that. For me, I branched out into meditation in the morning and reading in the morning, which actually has been incredible because in the morning, your mind is actually so open. It's really like available to learn in the morning. So it's just really important to establish that time for yourself and then also just get a really good start to each day.
Yeah. You can also knock out birds, not burns. You can't ever knock out two burns. Two birds with one stone. You can hit the gym in the morning. I started doing that not too long ago, and it's been an incredible way to start my day. It really wakes me up and gets me going, and it's good to know that exercise is out of the way for the day, and I really have all the time I want after work to do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm. So that's a really good example of how one thing can be so broad and it's very customizable to what works best for you.
So the next thing on the list is complete personal diet goals. This is really loose, and it is 100% based on your individual needs. A lot of people think that this means that you got to like cut down and diet and lose a bunch of weight. And I'm doing the exact opposite. So over the past couple months, I've really increased my food intake. I've noticed my strength going up because I did go through a period where I was going through the motions in the gym. And I 100% noticed a decrease in strength during this time, a decrease in energy, decrease in motivation, decrease in muscle size. And that speaks a lot to being invested in what you're doing, because when you go through the motions in anything at all, you're definitely not giving it your best. And I saw this in a direct manifestation of being less, what's the word? Like being less toned in the gym and being way weaker than I was before. So when I started eating right, the training kind of followed. I noticed that I was more motivated to go to the gym because I've been putting in the work outside of it. So that's just for me. It's very personalized. A lot of people may be eating too much junk food. What you want to do is you just really want to find what you're lacking in your diet or what you're putting too much into your diet and kind of finding a nice middle ground.
Yeah, totally. For me, it's also not about dieting down. It's actually about making sure I'm feeding my body enough. That's something I've always struggled with. And it's just making sure I'm eating enough, but I'm also preparing myself each day. I'm bringing food to work with me so that when I get home, I'm not starving and want to go to Chick-fil-A. So for me, it's just planning ahead of time, bringing, foods that make me feel good throughout the day, that are good for my body, that I can feel are fueling me. So that's really my goal as far as the diet.
For my personal goal for diet, I feel like I have a really good handle on balance, but I want to add more nutrient-dense foods like more leafy greens, more vegetables. I just never make them. I'm so lazy. Like, I'll just have rice and turkey all day and that's it. But I really do, from every class that I've taken in micrometabolism, all of that, like every nutrient in your body has a specific purpose, and when you're not giving your body that, it's not thriving as optimally as it could be. So I know that I need to start adding more vegetables in there, just more nutrient dense options. So for me, it's that. And then also, like we said before, we're trying to do this in a balanced way. So I'm definitely going to adhere to that, but I want to continue having my glass of wine every night and going out to eat and not being afraid to do so. So taking that balance, but kind of increasing the nutrient dense side.
Being more intentional with it.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely. That speaks to being intentional because you know exactly what you're supposed to be eating, but you aren't doing that every day. So for those of you that may not know what you're supposed to be eating, this can be a good time to look into YouTube videos or read into articles and see kind of where your diet should be. And I would highly suggest, if you are not familiar with what you're supposed to be eating throughout the day, don't just jump into cutting, because the chances are you're not eating enough in the first place, and that's
Tracking macros is really good.
Yeah.
A really good first step.
yeah. I mean, you can take whatever route you'd like. That's our personal favorite, macros, but just really take the time to understand what you're supposed to be eating, because it's not good just to jump into a deficit and like try to cut without even knowing how much you're eating in the first place. So just really, I would recommend getting a grasp of what you're eating and if you're eating the right things before making any big time decisions of what you're going to be doing with your diet.
Like with Ari, he's in the room right now.
guys.
We're doing his macros for him, and he tracked for 3 days, and he didn't even realize how little carbs he eats and how much fat he eats, but like no protein. So it kind of opens your eyes as to
He loves cheese.
Loves.
He loves feta cheese.
feta,
He's a feta
baby.
boy.
It just tracking macros, if you don't really know what you're consuming, or what your meals look like, or what even is in the foods you're eating, it's a really good start to see where you're at, and it kind of gives you a great guideline. So you can be as strict as you want with this, you can be as lax as you want with this, but for Ari, he is trying to eat more, and then we're going to cut him down a little bit, but that's his plan. So everyone in this room is individualized, which is cool, because every one of you, if you guys want to follow along, can do this as well.
The next thing I definitely think Steve should introduce, because
Oh,
he
yeah.
inspired this point.
He did.
So for 10 months, I've been dealing with low back pain, and nothing has made it go away. And to mention today, I did deadlifts for the first time in 10 months without any pain at all.
Woohoo.
No
Wow.
pain. I did 4 plates on squats with no pain. So that used to be weight I could do, and I think that played a role into the motivation I had in the gym, because I was injured and like nothing felt right, everything hurt, and I started getting massages a couple months ago, and those definitely helped a bit, and I also started getting in a hot tub, which also helped a little bit. But the main thing that I have noticed helping me has been stretching every night, and I make sure to stretch every part of my lower extremity that I can figure out how to stretch. You should see me. It's kind of weird at times. I'm doing some weird stuff. I mean, whatever stretches, I'm getting deep in there.
It's like, Taylor, how do I do my low back?
Yeah, I try to
don't
figure out how
feel
to.
it.
I try to, but I've been doing that, and I sleep like a rock. I don't have restless legs at night when I'm sleeping. I can lay in bed afterwards, and this is. I get in bed and I read a book and I just crash. So, I've been doing this every night, and I've never slept better.
Wow. Hearing that story literally inspired me to be like, okay, we need everyone in the world to try stretching before bed.
You stretch.
I'm
You stretch. Okay, so the last thing is to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep. When you are sleep deprived, everything cannot function as highly as it should. So this is a very, very big part in anything, progress-wise for the body, mentally, literally
learning.
anything.
Anything you learn throughout the day needs to be solidified in memory by sleep. And if you don't get enough of it, you're doing yourself a disservice. A lot of people that are in school listening to this, it's is right.
Yes. Yes,
All-nighters,
queen.
you got to pull them sometimes, but hopefully not all the time, because that is just instant recall memory. And then once it's been a couple weeks, you forget everything. So sleep is so important for all aspects of life.
For your mind and then your body, right? With recovery, if you're training or you're working out,
muscle gain,
it's
anything.
essential.
And like we said before about the 10 minutes of stretching before bed, that's really going to help you set up for a successful sleep. And also what Steve and I have been implementing is reading, like he said, but I would also try and take a hot shower. So do kind of a routine that makes you feel good. It can be like hot shower, face mask, stretching, reading.
Yeah.
One thing that, oh my gosh, nobody believes me. Exposure to bright light before bed is worse for you than drinking a cup of coffee. If you get exposed to
110%.
super bright light I would say for a couple minutes, you might as well drink a cup of coffee, because it's just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah.
That and the blue lights from your phones or your TV. I swear.
Yeah,
I swear.
you can invest in some blue light blockers. Those actually do wonders. I mean, it's hard to avoid like bright light, period.
Yeah.
But that's kind of why
glasses.
a lot of us Taylor and I have switched over to books, and we're sleeping like bricks.
Yeah, for sure. The start date on this series, Elevate You, starts August 5th. So it's 6 days from now. We're super excited. We're actually very antsy to start. We hope that you guys participate as well. And this is, again, leading up to our very first pop-up shop in Vegas for Balance Athletica. So it's going to be a great time. We're all going to be there feeling good. That's September 14th.
Oh, it is, huh?
If you guys haven't bought your tickets yet or you're thinking about it, you definitely want to do so as soon as possible because they will be the cheapest now.
Your flight tickets. It's a free event.
Yes.
But we want to make sure you guys get your flight tickets and your hotel tickets. The event, our pop-up, is going to be by the Las Vegas Convention Center. So if you want to locate your hotel somewhere around there, it'll be really easy. But also the strip is 10 minutes long, so it's not that hard. But
yeah.
We're really excited.
We're going to have about a 1,500 square foot facility with our newest collection unreleased.
Yep, it'll be a
debuting for the first time. Potentially, we might be having some Instagram stories or posts prior to them, but you'll be first access to this clothing line. Our leaders and some members and influencers will be there along with us, and you'll be able to meet and hang out with us and get your hands on the collection before anybody else.
And also just being able to hang out with the Balance community. All of you guys are so amazing, and so I know that when we bring you all together, it's just so many like-minded individuals, and I'm so excited to see everyone.
I'm excited to see some people rocking their Balance gear.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And finally, we are having a $1,000 Balance gift card giveaway at the event, so you'll want to be there.
Yes.
Indeedy.
It's going to be freaking amazing. We're excited. And last thing, people are asking me on my Instagram, don't buy tickets for the actual Olympia. This is our own separate event at its very own mall in its very own location. So don't buy anything that has to do with the Olympia if you are just planning to go for Balance. So.
Yes.
I think it's close to the convention center, correct?
Very close.
Very
the walking
close.
distance.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, you guys are definitely going to want to be there, and if you want to participate in this challenge, we would love to have you along the way. Let us know if you guys are going to be a part of it, whether you tag Balance Athletica or you put
hashtag elevate you with a U. Dude, it's like we're sisters.
It's so weird. If you guys do want some guidance and some insight into our lives and how we're completing it, we have a lot of people on the Balance team that are actually going to be vlogging, some of us for the first time, which is exciting. So you'll get to see a lot of different people, men and women, vlogging their way through this 6 weeks. So for some insight or for some inspiration, you're definitely going to want to check out our channels, which we will link below.
And to not feel alone. We're all in this together and doing this together as a team, you guys included. So we're really excited to complete this together.
Yeah. One more thing, we have just started up the Balance Show Instagram at the Balance Show, so you guys should check that out. That's a great place to leave feedback on our podcasts and to bring up any topics that you'd like for us to cover.
Totally.
We're always down to talk about what you guys want to hear. That really helps us kind of direct the podcast in the direction that you guys would like for it to go, because obviously this is for you guys just as much as it is for us.
Absolutely. So send us a DM if you have any good topic ideas, and thank you guys so much for listening.
Please be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. Yeah. I'm so used to YouTube.
I know.
We love you guys. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this. We will see you in the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Oh my god.
Bye now. But no. He can edit me in again.
No.
Have a good one, guys. Take care. No, don't do that.
Ew.
Vina vici. No, don't do that one either.
Do that one.
Don't do that one.
Final chance.
Skadoosh, mama. Ooh, thanks for tuning in.